This is probably the happiest I have been in a long, long time to hear recording is in progress by the Zoom lady. It's Monday, November 3rd, 2025, year of our Lord. We're back with another edition of Make City Make Spence. Gentlemen, what else is this podcast also known as these days? Sean, Adam, drop a bunch of all these other names we seem to be known as lately.
I only heard the other one.
What, the ass clowns? I mean, it's fine, everybody's, if they're talking about you, then that's good, right?
You've got to be the worst pirate you ever seen, but you have heard of us.
Exactly. And um yeah, are you gonna set this up, or should I set it up, or what are you gonna
Set it up, Garrett.
um,
what we're talking about?
yeah, let's set it up. So we're going to be talking. So we are 2 days after the in game that which but none of us predicted was going to happen, along with probably 98.99% of a lot of people outside of Detroit, and probably 69%, who knows one way or another. Detroit City at Louisville City in the first round of the USL playoffs. Louisville City, um, one loss all year in USL Championship, best point per game in a regular season. Detroit City, in a spot, but Adam was probably the most positive out of all of us, I would say. I'd say in order of positivity for the match, it was Adam one, Sean two, and then me definitely not positive. I regret nothing. And Devin Mensah gets the goal, and Detroit City for the second time in 3 years knock out a number one seed in the playoffs in Louisville City. And I think people really want to remind us that we all picked Louisville City. And yeah, so that's my tag in right now. Now I'll set it up to Sean.
Right. Well, we had a couple different people, dunking on us about picking all of us picking Lou City, including Michael Bryant.
Yep.
Um, and you know, it's my first response is like, tell me you didn't listen to the episode without telling me, right? Because like we really got into the different possibilities and how, like, while we consistently said Louisville has to be favored, I mean they are a historically fantastic side who simply have not lost any matches, really, like, so projecting them to lose is would clearly be an act of faith over evidence. And at the end of the day, when you're talking about this kind of stuff, like, if it was just what I wanted to happen, if that was what we were saying, this is I think how, like, kind of how people interact with it later is as if you were putting out into the universe the outcome you wish would happen, right? And then they come at you like, yeah, they're dunking on you, motherfucker, like, yeah, you didn't get it, bitch, you didn't get it, like, oh, I I got exactly what I wanted. Like, I just didn't think it was likely. Um, and part of that I think is an artifact of the internet. These same people, had we lost, would be like, "Yeah, dog, it was a tough hill to climb. Never expected us to really climb it." Like, they would just be completely, "Yup, it was rough. We knew it'd be rough." They wouldn't be saying shit about this. They wouldn't be coming up here praising us, being like, "Well, man, you guys saw it coming, and you really softened the blow by." No, this is a one-way ratchet of awfulness, and so I don't really want to engage with it a whole lot. I will say that if people who do other things for a living want to go dice words in the public square with me, I think I have a significant advantage. But okay, like, we can get down that way. To Michael, I guess I would say that I went with faith in my heart, hoping that Detroit City would win every match this year, and in fact, they won 9 of their 30 league matches, a historic low for Detroit City as a USL Championship side. Um, and I want to know why he didn't give a shit about about the feelings of the people who were so hopeful in those 11 matches. Like, what? That's more than a third of the season that you apparently just didn't care enough or something, right? Is that what we're to conclude? That your purity of heart and your belief brought about this miraculous outcome last week. So what happened 11 times this season, bro? Um, and like, there there is that advice from Winston Wolfe, and that's where that's what I would say to Michael right now is, let's not start sucking each other's dicks just yet, right? We've got like we won a match and it was a big deal, but let's win a second match. Let's make some history that way, and sort of earn, you know, our feelings.
All right. Sean, you've said your piece. Adam, your turn.
Yeah, I mean it's I just to kind of echo some of what Sean said here. I mean, yeah, go back and listen to the episode. I believe it was us that were saying too that Lou City was primed. Or not maybe prime, but always good for an upset. It's something that happened to him last year, courtesy of Rhode Island. It's something that happened this year, and they've never been a team that's been that's come through in the postseason more times than not. Um, so I mean that played into some of our commentary last week, um, when we were kind of laying out those scenarios in terms of how Detroit City was going to possibly win this match, which they ultimately did. Um, the problem is though, and I was talking to you about this yesterday, Garrett.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I want to, yes, we are all Detroit City supporters. We all love Detroit City on this podcast. Um, but I also think objectivity is important as well,
Right.
especially when we're doing
This
what
is
we're
some
doing.
clap louder bullshit.
Yes, I mean
Fuck
it's
off,
a
you're professionals.
yes, I mean I pride myself in trying to be as objective as I possibly can when I'm doing whether it's this, whether it's tunnel talk, whatever. Um, and when you look at the results from this year, again, kind of echoing what Sean said, um, go back and look the middle of the season. This team this year was had a historically bad run when it comes to Detroit City as a club. We've talked about it again too. We've talked about those two losses against Pittsburgh on the road, which ironically enough is who they're playing this weekend.
Yep.
We talked about that loss against Oakland. Those two losses in and of themselves were maybe were maybe the worst losses that this team has ever experienced since they were established in 2012. Uh, and then you look at some of these other games too. The loss to a League One team, Hearts of Pine in the what was that, the Jägermeister?
Yeah.
Yep.
You compile the
Poor
way that
Allen
they
flew to that game.
yeah, the way that they this limped into the playoffs at the end of the season, going into a buzzsaw in Lou City, who, yes, was a historically dominant team this year, one league loss all year, all year. And we posted the graphic about this after they won. The two other teams to beat Lou City in Lou City this year wasn't even a championship team. It was an MLS team and a top flight German club,
Champions League German club.
Yeah.
Champions League German club. Those were the other two teams to beat Lou City in Lou City this year. All their
Granted,
other
that was a
losses,
friendly, but still.
exactly. All those other losses came on the road. And there was only one loss in the league this year suffered by Lou City. So, I mean, if I'm being reasonable, if I'm being objective, then yes, I'm sorry, Michael. I'm sorry to everybody else out there. I had to pick Lou City.
Well, you know,
That
like
that
I
that
think,
was my personal opinion on all of this based on evidence.
yeah.
And this is, I mean, as far as Michael goes, I mean, this is something that he tends to do. Um, when he, just I don't know if he's placating to his fans or whatever. But I remember one instance too when we had that comeback against Phoenix. And he posted something on social media too, calling out people who counted them out. And I was thinking to myself, dude, you had a 6.4 FOTMOB rating. I don't know if you should be
Well,
calling
like,
out
I
anybody in
just think
that case.
it's like the thing is, it's complete like all of this desire to constantly portray yourself as like, you know, the saddest orphan in the village. Like, no one believed in me. I was just out there. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Enough with that. Like, okay, right, we got it. You were counted out. No, like I mean, okay, and it's at every level of the sport, and it doesn't have anything to do with success or failure. It's this profound desire of like powerful, successful people to also feel like the world's hugest victims. And like I'm talking about like uh what's his name? Bellingham. Um
Which Bellingham, there's two, Jude or
uh
Joe, because they're both guilty.
Jude
Gio Reyna, another
Jude
example.
Jude the
The-
like he won some award, and during his speech he was talking about how everyone counted him out, and it's like, motherfucker, you were considered like an international like hot property when you were 15 years old. You are right now 20 years old. Like, what are you fucking talking about? You have been lionized and feted every moment since you turned to a teenager. And but yet this guy is still telling himself like, everyone, no one believed in me. What? You play for Real, you start for Real Madrid, bitch. Like, stop. What are you fucking talking about? And it's just everywhere. And I see this as of a piece with that. This constant. It's also like, I'm sorry, but like the Detroit versus everybody thing. Like, yeah, we do. Man, no. Like we can't. It can't be Detroit versus everybody. I'm sorry. Let's ground ourselves in reality here, and let's be happy when we do well. But let's assign it like not everything needs to be fucking mythic, right? Like,
Mhm.
can't be. It clearly is not. And
Um,
the effort to make everything mythic is why you wind up whitewashing all of the dumb bullshit that we've been complaining about, because you just want to tell a big grand story of like these champions, and like all right, but what about all the other times we haven't been champions yet? What are you fucking talking about? Like, this is a different kind of story. I don't know. Clearly this is like frustrating to me, but I think we just need to pivot to talking about an absolutely magnificent performance, really. Uh,
a performance that saw Detroit City's first road win, regulation road win. Because Jägermeister Cup was technically considered a draw with a penalty shootout win for all the soccer nerds. The last time Detroit City won a competitive match on the road was April 13th in Phoenix.
Jesus Christ.
They won
You
three
know,
matches in league play on the road all year. The first two on the road, Miami and Carl, they won their first, their second, and fourth games on the road, and
wow.
and went almost 7 months.
And then the first postseason match pulled one out.
So
Gee,
I mean,
I wonder why people didn't pick them to win that game.
yeah, well, I mean, just because they're haters, they're just out here trying to make their haters their waiters,
They're not real fans.
we don't
Yeah.
know ball.
Right.
We should be
I, you
ashamed of
know,
ourselves.
um, so like let's turn to the match because there's a lot to chew over in
Starting
this.
lineup that had some opinions on, but
I
as the
didn't
match
like
wore
it.
on,
I wanted Kobe to start.
yeah.
The rest of it, okay, fine. Like, this is a settle. I would like to see Stevie playing, but it seems like this three is settled right now. So let's just let him. You don't fuck with it.
Yep.
Um, and And Ryan has been lights out. This is absolutely the best match Jay Chapman has played for Detroit City, like by a country mile. Um, just, you know, all of the things he usually brings, the energy, the sort of careening vibe you get sometimes from him was accompanied by, being pretty clean with the ball and clever. And and when you add I'm talking about in kind of interplay and short passing, and then his medium and long range passing has always been very good. The problem with I have had with him is that he tends to give the ball away just a lot, and like because he's playing deep in midfield, it's in dangerous positions. And so, when he gets in one of those funks and is turning the ball over, like it's kind of we're we're facing an attacking drill for a while there, while he works through his problems. And um, I grow impatient with that from a 30-year-old starter. Um, but he was magnificent, and he and Ryan were very disciplined, much more disciplined than I've seen them in their spacing and in maintaining that kind of um, the M of the defense. You know what I mean? Um, the City were basically playing a WM, um, which is wild to realize that football's come full circle in that way. Um, if you picture the M as the defensive group, with a draw a line starting from Devin up to Ryan, back to Michael, up to Jay, back to Shane. That's an M, and then the W is uh, the attacking players, where you've got the uh, the two wingers as very high, Haruki and um,
LaFleur.
Isaiah.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, you know, when LaFleur started a couple matches ago, you kind of wondered, like, is something wrong with Alex, or has he fallen out, or like at this point, I don't think we need a whole lot of explanation. Like, he just looks really fucking dynamic, and brings some things that Alex maybe doesn't bring as much of. I'm not, like Alex is a pretty well-rounded player, and has shown an ability to excel in pretty much every phase of the game, but he tends not to excel at all of them at one time. You know what I mean? Like he'll be on a heater with the ball and he'll kind of like forget his assignment defensively, or vice versa. Um, and Isaiah's just looked, he's he he almost doesn't have to fit into the team. He's kind of an X factor player. The dribbling runs he makes are kind of right, like kind of slantwise from out wide through that left channel, you know, which is a kind of a different route. You know what I mean? You don't see guys do that long diagonal like that, and he just kind of slaloms through there. Like it seems like something he's just programmed to do like twice every 90 minutes. And it's wild to watch, because they're hip to it now. Everybody know, like he starts to kind of take off. He'll beat a guy, and you can see Louisville going, no, 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 we don't want that. Like, and yeah, everybody kind of shift over, and make it hard for him. Um, and I mean, really, like I could just meander through the whole starting lineup. Darren Smith is, he's not getting a lot of chances right now, but he is still doing the work, and um, he's there's no ability like availability, so he's clearly available all the time. And I'm don't know. I'm very excited to see what we have in front of us now because the field is blown wide open, right? Like North
Hmm.
Carolina is the highest seed left, I think.
Yeah. So,
Um, it's not like, it's not an intimidating field at this point. Like we're going to Pittsburgh. Okay. Um,
yeah, Pittsburgh Riverhounds defeated Hartford Athletic via penalty shootout in the 4-5 matchup. In the you said Sean, you mentioned the 3-6 matchup was North Carolina FC taking on Loudoun United. North Carolina won that one 1-0. And then yesterday on CBS Sports Network in the 7th Rhode Island traveling to second Charleston Battery, Rhode Island knocking Charleston out via penalty shootout, 5-3.
yeah.
And then on the West, um, first seed Tulsa defeated Colorado Springs AC Colorado Springs Switchbacks, which means Detroit City FC will not
We will not
host
host.
the USL Championship final. So no Keyworth, no Keyworth potential like snowstorm in Keyworth in November, folks. New Mexico
That'd be so
United,
cool.
New Mexico United 2-0, the only team to score 2 goals in the first round of the playoffs. Phoenix Rising won at El Paso 1-0, and Orange County knocked Sacramento out via penalties yesterday. So, um, wide open, folks. And
Wow.
then, yeah. And then I want to, before I get Adam's thoughts, I'll just name these dates here. March 8th, March 15th, April 12th, the three USL Championship road wins for Detroit City FC. June the 28th, the penalty shootout win in Hartford over Jägermeister Cup. So add November 1st to the list of happy road moments for Detroit City FC, and that brings us to November 8th at Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Adam, before we get into that, you have anything you want to, let's see, I don't say bloviate, but because I know Brian Anderson loves it when we use that term. Uh,
Um,
but
well, wait, I just had one more thing I wanted to say, which is that, you know, I don't think that like there was nothing we saw from the team last night that was anything new or last night
right.
last match. There was like it was just a sort of perfection of the modes they had been working on all year. Um, so one that tells us that like at their most effective, that is a very effective system, because Louisville did like we did stand on our luck a little bit. Um, uh, Carlos made that one fantastic save. Um,
Mike
what was it
Watt
like?
called it the best save he's ever seen, or something like that on Twitter.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was well, like
yeah.
just it looked like he was out of position for it. Like he's a little off his line and he's pretty much in the middle of the goal and he's able to kind of like leap backwards.
It's kind of doing that, oh
Like,
shit,
yeah,
I
like
gotta.
really like, like he had some time dilation happen to him there. He was like, oh shit, like, there's only one way to do this. I've got to like, and um, he got there pretty easily, really, given the parameters of the save. So yeah, it was hugely impressive, and clearly, if if City had to find another goal, um, I don't know, the match might have felt a little different. Part of the part of the confidence of playing was knowing that they were, you could like you could, I have a feeling you could kind of tell they were shitting themselves and getting jittery fairly early in the second half. Um, it seemed like our guys were growing heartened as the match went on. It wasn't like the screw was tightening on them. They were kind of like, okay, these guys are falling apart. Like this is wild. Um, so
That was a good way to put it, Sean, that this really wasn't, kind of City coming out of a cocoon late in the season at the most opportune time to do it. I think that this was, in many cases, a typical City match. Um, especially up against a team like Louisville City. You didn't get a lot of shots. You didn't get a lot of corners.
Right.
You didn't hold possession for a large amount of time, like you mentioned. The game plan, though, what they've been doing the entire season, um, was just seemingly executed to perfection in a sense, for lack of a better term, maybe. Um, I'm not the wordsmith that you are, Sean. So that I mean, I think that's exactly the way that you need to put it, and explain it, um, in terms of how this happened. And when it's happening to a team like Lou City, who, and this is, I mean, as weird as it may seem, what we saw potentially too was maybe like the downside of being so dominant throughout the entirety of the season, which is kind of weird to think about. Um, because
Yeah, they were
there's
they're
that
kind of
cliche. Yeah,
like
exactly. There's like
naive
that
about
cliche.
playing in that game state, and they haven't been behind that much.
Exactly. I mean, maybe it's a little cliche to mention something like that, but I think it's absolutely true in a sense that if you don't face a lot of adversity, if you don't face, um, if you're constantly facing the same type of situation throughout the entirety of the year, when something like this happens, when all of a sudden, oh shit, we're down to Detroit City at home, maybe a little bit of panic sets in.
Right.
And you don't know how to recover for something like that. And you know what? That may be that may be a one of those fatal flaws to a guy like Danny Cruz, who hasn't been good in the postseason,
Yeah.
relatively speaking. So
I mean, I think that okay, so I think the the problem is that you create this rod for your own back by doing things to inflate your one's own confidence, right? Kind of hype yourself up, hype yourself up, hype yourself up. Like, yeah, look at this, look, kind of to yourself as a player. You're trying to like you want to get yourself like, motivated and full of confidence and radiate confidence and know that you can go out there and do amazing things. And um uh but the problem is that, a lot of times it's kind of just, it's a house built on sand a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, um, and the sort of, if you have at any creative capacity in your brain to imagine some of the bad version of a thing, it will look a lot like this, where you get a goal and you're kind of like, they didn't even deserve that goal. It wasn't even a foul. You know what I mean? You're still in your like self-pity bag. Um, and you're 1-0 down now. Yeah, I think that and we have noted, I think we noted last week that Louisville City is a team that has struggled with emotional challenges during the course of a match.
and we
And
saw it
with
firsthand
Mikel
at
Goodrum.
Keyworth. Yeah.
And I mean, I think like, look, Michael One Black Arrow, he's talking shit about us on the internet. But like, if he has a world class skill, it's winding motherfuckers up. Like,
Mhm.
um,
He did it
and
to Phil Goodrum, that's for
he
sure, a
did,
couple of
and
years
he
ago.
has done it. Well, I think he did it again. Like, I think Goodrum kind of just like, it's like he knows he got a red card. He starts getting wound up again, and he's probably got like, coaches going, "Ugh," hey, we talked about this, and he's just like, all right, motherfucker, I'm fine. I'm fine. Like, like I just got this vibe, like intense frustration coming off of him, like throughout the entire match. And I think Michael just got into his fucking head again. Um, and it's hard to say. Like it's weird because like a guy like Taylor Davila, he should be he should be like commanding or whatever. You know what I mean? He's kind of a big dude. He's like an all league midfielder. Um, like he's created some great goals against us. And it's a really key component of this best USL championship side ever. But when he something about his voice is kind of like high and squeaky. So he doesn't come across as like commanding at all, like on the field, he's like, guys, it's like really it just does not land for some reason. And like it's so weird how things like that like are part of the reality of the thing. And they just are their best players are not guys who for some reason can center themselves and their emotions and get everybody like pissed off and pointed in the right direction and playing like with a vengeance, which it feels like they should be set up to do. As soon as they fall behind, like why weren't they pressing the absolute balls off of us? Just make us hit us long and like pin us in, pin us in, pin us in, pin us in, like be relentless. Talk, and it felt like
They
they
did that to us the first 15 minutes at Keyworth in September, and it was scary.
right. And like I'm just I don't know. I don't it felt like they had a crisis of confidence at a crucial moment. And um I think we instigated that partially is that I think we came out and looked pretty smart and clean and had a clear idea how we were going to play against them. And we were doing things that they'd seen on film, but it was a little crisper and like better than what they'd seen on film. They're kind of like, oh, what the fuck? Which was what I was doing. Like, who are these guys? Um, it was lovely to see, and I hope we can continue for another 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
So
Um,
let me present. This is the third year now that there have been 8 teams in the playoffs in each conference. 2023 in the Eastern Conference in the first round saw the 8 beat the 1, the 7 beat the 2, the 5 beat the 4, and the third seed represented the Eastern Conference in the final. In the West, you had 1 beat 8, 2 beat 7, 6 beat 3, 4 beat 5. 6 then beat 2, 6 then beat 1, and 6 beat Charleston via penalties. That was Phoenix Rising. In 2024, you had the 1 seed Louisville win in the first round over North Carolina. Um, then you had 2 beat 7 in Charleston. We were the third seed, got knocked down on penalties by Tampa Bay Rowdies. 5 defeated 4 in Rhode Island. 5 then beat 1 in the second round. 5 then beat 2 in the conference finals, representing the East. So my thing is, I think, and I know there was some Western upsets too, with Orange County like knocking Memphis out, not only out of the playoffs but out of existence.
yeah.
Um, so
Flawless victory.
Yeah, definitely.
so
Damn.
there's 2 seasons, I think. Now, this is my plausible theory. There's the dogfight, close quarter combat, long 7-month arduous journey of a USL Championship regular season, and then there's playoffs, which is like I've often seen hockey and soccer, ice hockey and soccer get compared to each other a lot in a lot of ways. USL Championship playoffs is hockey playoffs. It seems like when you look at these one single elimination.
They don't do single elimination in the NHL though.
No, but in hockey you see the lower seeds. ride waves somehow, get hot, get going, something happen.
Yeah.
Um, it just seems interesting.
Well, football is so that's why purists don't like playoffs in football is because it's so various that having like a series of single match playoffs like in one-off matches like you know luck is a huge part of it.
Mhm.
And so that's why they don't like it. But I mean, like, at the same time, luck is a huge part of it. And like, okay, this is the nature of the game that we love. Like, you know, like
So
try more noob.
we are going to Pittsburgh Riverhounds, good old Highmark Stadium, Saturday, November 8th. I think FotMob says 4 o'clock. SofaScore says 7:30. I'm going to believe SofaScore. That's 7:30. But pay attention to the online socials and see official announcements for what time that kickoff is. The only time Detroit City has won at Highmark was in the playoffs, October 2023. Dominic Gasso in the first round. The first time the 8 seed Detroit City knocked out a number 1 seed.
I mean,
Um,
like the thing, like you really after this weekend, it looks pretty doable, right? Like this Pittsburgh team, am I afraid of playing them? Like, no, man, I'm not. Like we put up a world legendary stinker the last time we played there, but that doesn't,
who's
you know,
managing them right now?
you know,
I thought you were, Garrett.
yeah, the assistant manager, right? Yeah, there's a secret thing going on where they're being managed by 200,000 football manager players in the beta. Their combined like insights are being manifested in the game plan.
I'm getting Football Manager 2016s in my Insta feed. I'm blaming Sean for this now.
It is, yeah. It comes out, I think, tomorrow at like 11 a.m. In the United States. The
Um,
the full
I
game, but I mean, it's the same game I'm playing. They're not even putting a new patch out for tomorrow, so
well,
it's
make
it's
sure
buggy as hell.
get some sleep tonight, though, Sean. I know you're probably excited, but get some sleep
Oh,
tonight.
oh
I
man, I'm
mean, you got to go to the mines, right?
I'm past that. Yeah, I'm past that stage. I I've been playing the beta for a couple weeks. I started pretty well with the Red Stars, and we were like we won three of our first four, and my defense has collapsed entirely. I've got to figure out what's wrong with the defense. So that's the next time I play. That's one of the things that's not in the game right now is like they'll give you data, like, but they don't give you positional data that you don't have heat maps or you can't see where things are happening really on the pitch. You just kind of get raw numbers like, this player here's all of these things they did. Um, so you're kind of guessing, like, okay, well, it doesn't seem like enough pressures for someone in that position. So maybe I need to change their out of, it's complicated. But I love that shit. So that's what the game, why the game is fun. That's because it's complicated.
Life can kind of be complicated sometimes, I think. Um,
Simplicity is a human invention and not a real thing. I believe.
feel like we have, we're
If
just,
you
we have like,
actually describe something, it's always complex.
if you're taking tabs on potential one-line quotes that have come from this episode, I've lost count, but add that one to the list because that's another good one too. All right, gents. I think this is going to be the moment I think people are going to be looking forward to.
Oh, time to pick.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first
All right.
because my heart and my head are in alignment this week. I think there is no excuse for us for the team that went out and did what they did in Louisville not to show up again this weekend and just go out and win this match. Like, Pittsburgh can be had. And I feel like at some level the with the Lily, kind of suspension, all that stuff, the way it's going on, it's starting to look like, a de facto dismissal essentially, right? Like, do you do that until the end of your contract, and then what is that? Um,
A thing
and
of stability is not really stable.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying is like I feel like there's maybe a little, if we can get at them, which I believe we should be able to, that they may not be as emotionally resilient as they have usually been. Um, and then it's just a matter of, probably beating North Carolina, which is, okay.
John, we all know what's going to happen here. We're on a collision course to face Rhode Island in the conference finals. That seems like what's
Uh,
going to happen.
yeah. Yeah, that's possible. It is out there. And that
And
would be
Max is
really
going to be
interesting. I think that,
replaying those
yeah,
times you called him
except
out
he's not
last
he's
year.
not playing right now. Like hasn't been playing. Is he hurt?
Who?
I
Yeah,
don't think he's Maxi.
He came
Yeah,
on and made his penalty,
yeah. But I mean,
unlike last year in
came
the
on
first
came on
round.
I think he came on basically to, you know, in extra time, right? Um uh I completely lost my train of thought. I think 2-0 City. Um
wow.
Holy fuck, dude!
uh
Have you? Is the I need is the does the bond need to be tested? Is this because this is the most like optimistic I've seen you with the city in a
well
long fucking time, bro.
um you know what I mean? It seems like this offers a pretty cogent way forward. You don't have to change. Like, I think that against Pittsburgh, you don't need to change a lot. There are probably lots of micro changes, but you're going to trap in different spots or whatever. But like the overall shape and approach doesn't have to change much at all. And uh, if Jay Chapman doesn't seem to be on one um, quite so comprehensively, then that's an easy change at halftime, right? You just put Kobe on and um, get a significant upgrade in the kind of the quality of creative service that you're getting from your midfield. Um, and that's a huge advantage to have that kind of in your pocket. If so, you're almost like kind of just you're starting Jay and seeing how long you can get away with it, right? and um, uh, at the same time, I just don't. Um, I just don't feel incredibly threatened by the Pittsburgh attack. I know that um, they changed some guys, but they're not here. They're like they're probably saying the exact same thing about us. Where like, look, I don't. They're gonna have a hard time scoring against us, and I'm not afraid of them. And I think we're very similar teams in that we're kind of agnostic about possession. Like sometimes we'll keep it if that seems like the easiest thing to do, but like if you really want to keep it, like, and you're not doing anything with it, all right, like fine. We'll we'll stand back here and kind of let you tap it around in your at the back of your middle third. Um, so I just think it kind of comes down to vibes
Yeah,
between the two teams, and while I don't think obviously the vibes are not perfect, the if you watch the celebrations after the match, I think you notice that there's a certain division between um, the groups celebrating the workers, and the
And the
management.
management.
um, and
Solidarity.
Yeah. So we have taken an official position of being pro. We are on the worker side at all times. So, even though Michael thinks we're ass clowns, uh, we support his right to tell us so, and uh, hope he
If it
can.
motivates you,
Oh,
good.
yeah,
Do it
exactly,
again.
exactly. Because uh, you know, there clearly there's good arguments for Michael at the center of that defense, right? His size, he can offer a different kind of uh, threat with the ball. I think than Stevie. Stevie's not. Stevie clearly is not that interested in barging forward with the ball. He'll do it sometimes if it's just like laid open to him, but it's not a thing he's looking to do. And Michael's, past as an attacker does kind of like show up every so often in his decision making. He'll be like, "Yeah, I can do this." You're like, "Ooh, dude, okay, well that was fine, I guess." Um, uh,
Hockey term,
so
Stevens a stay-at-home defenseman.
right, exactly. Well, that also
Loves a
gives
good.
that also gives him some crazy advantages in those crucial moments. I would argue, like he really does study the way the other guys are moving, the attackers are moving, and he does a really great job of fucking with their movement in crucial moments. Like a guy will come dribbling at him, and it looks impossible, and Steve will just kind of like doink hit him on the hip, and suddenly the guy is kind of like crab walking, like trying to stay upright. Like it's crazy. If I hadn't seen it so many times, um, so those are things you lose when you're not playing Stevie.
Your turn, Adam.
uh,
Yeah, it's like holy crap, what was that anyway?
you know,
So
I if us picking against them provides them a little bit more motivation to go out there and win, I mean, part of me wants to just pick Pittsburgh just for that reason. If it wills them to win and push them forward, then man. But like I said, I want to be objective and I want to be and this is a tough pick for me because um again, you can make justifications for both sides of things here. Um One thing that really stands out though is, well, first of all, they Pittsburgh didn't get that marquee victory in the first round. I'm sorry, Hartford isn't at the same level that Lou City is
well, they
at.
didn't get a goal.
And they didn't get a goal.
They
Yes.
advanced without getting a goal. Like
Yes. Um, so there's that. And then I mean, you have to take into account that
big ass
potential
playoff team.
that potential turmoil that could be being undertaken right now in that
Yeah.
Pittsburgh locker room.
Yeah.
Um, I, who knows what's going on with Bob Lilly? I mean, again, if I was if I was covering Pittsburgh, I mean, or if I was a
Yeah.
supporter of Pittsburgh, I'd probably be a little,
I don't know. I don't if newspapers existed still, I would be
yeah,
totally like, "Hey, newspapers,
yeah. I
dig
mean,
into this." Longtime coach of professional team mysteriously just kind of
they
like
disappeared him. They
they just put him
disappeared
in
him,
yeah, they just put him in the closet. Like,
and he's
yeah.
gone. Who's
What?
Bob
Who?
Lilly? Who's that?
Bob Lilly. Yeah, there's like a thumping. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
nothing. We got
the
a new dog, and we're trying to,
yeah.
he's not
See,
good with guests yet,
heat
so we have to kind of
exchanger.
put him away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but I mean, I mean, yeah, I mean, if I'm not like you said, Sean, I'm not scared by Pittsburgh. Um, this is a field that is all of a sudden completely wide open now without Lou City and Charleston in there.
Yeah.
Uh, we've seen City play well in certain spots. I mean, it's been sporadic this year. Um, I mean, I guess based on vibes, based on if they've finally figured out how to execute that game plan that they've been trying all season. I mean, if it works against Louisville City, it sure as hell can work against Pittsburgh. I mean, why the hell not? I'll go ahead and take City in this match. I have no idea a score line here. And this is the thing that sucks about City is you still there's still in a point right now where you have some serious questions as to whether or not they're going to be able to overcome a goal being scored on them. And again, I still question that a
Yeah.
lot, and I'm still very hesitant to pick them in that spot.
Crazy thing is, I
But
think you could say the same thing about Pittsburgh, right?
sure, yeah.
Like,
Um,
first goal wins or something.
so yeah, I mean, if City's gonna win this, it's gonna be another, I think, 1-0 game. So based on vibes, I'll go ahead and I'll pick City to win 1-0. Um, don't disappoint me though, please.
Garrett.
This is what I want my thing to say, Adam. Draw after extra time. 0-0 draw after extra time.
Keep in
Oh
mind,
my
this is a
God.
graphic, Garrett. It's a graphic. I can't write paragraphs on a
Yeah.
graphic.
No, 0-0 A.E.T.
Don't tell me how to art, man.
Yeah. Nil AET.
City
Who
and
Yeah,
Pens.
City and Pens. So Pittsburgh goes to penalties for a goalless second straight match, which believable, you know. Um, that was a home match against Hartford, and you know, so they're gonna make it. It's not gonna be easy to score goals. I don't think. I honestly, I think one of, but I really think this is going to be an Autes Juf day,
And are we
evening.
bringing it back?
Autes Inferno.
the Ates Inferno.
I mean, I hope so. I hope
It's
the
cold.
Autes.
It's going to be cold. So, I mean, people need to be warmed up.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Ates
He will
Inferno.
need to be warmed up because that dude does not have much body fat.
What's
No,
the
he's
what's the
he
body
is
of
a
water?
he
Is it
is
the Monongalia?
he's a narrow gentleman.
Is that what the high marks on? Is it the Monongalia?
I don't know.
What?
The
The
river?
river. I don't know. Sure.
Body of
Oh,
water?
yeah, yes, I believe so. Monongahela.
We do our hard research, folks.
Thanks. I lived in Franklin uh for a couple years a long time ago. That's north of there between like Erie and Pittsburgh. Is everyone asleep yet?
Yeah. No, everybody came for the Michael response and then probably
Yeah, they checked
tuned
out.
out the rest of it.
Thank God.
Um, I mean, to finish things out though, I want to know there's a couple of things that I want to bring up. One of them has to do with City, the other one doesn't have to do with City. Um, but the other one is
Word.
incredibly vital when it comes to soccer in the United States. But the first one though, I want to get your guys' opinion because remember, Danny doesn't have a contract going into
Yeah.
next season right now. And this win against Lou City all of a sudden tips the leverage um, or gives him more leverage when it comes to negotiations. Does Saturday's win help or hurt the chances of Danny coming back to coach Detroit City on a new contract next season?
I um I think it probably hurts.
I was
a
going to
li-
say the same thing.
I think that it's especially if they can win another one, I think that he will be, in some demand, and that the city are unlikely to enter into a bidding war at all. Um,
No, I think
and
they should.
nor should they. Yeah.
Yeah,
Secondly, um, when things were going so spectacularly terribly through most of the season, I would hope they had built a some kind of short list of candidates, um, to to come in should should it really not work out with Danny. Um, Both people that could take over in the short term and people that could take over, just in December or whatever. Um, and um, if I were the club, I would entirely let the market dictate what's going on with Danny. If he, if we are doing well and we don't see a lot of opportunity in the market to get somebody that we think would be better, then the stability has some value. Um, so change for change's sake is often uh, unproductive. So since I don't really know the market, I would say I think the predisposition needs to be that you know Danny is one candidate of several. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
And that the potential stability that he would carry forward is one of the things to be weighed in the assessment, but it's not decisive, and really no result. Like, I mean, um, you know, if he wins the cup, like, I just think that we are likely to have pretty well defined financial limitations that he will outstrip very quickly as success piles up on him, and like free agency beckons. You know what I'm saying? So if
Yeah.
we win a bunch, if we win the cup, like I think he just priced himself out of returning unless he's convinced this is um you know there are other dark alternatives that I'm not going to go into, I guess.
I agree though, Sean. I think that this helps Danny's case on an open market. And um, if you're a guy, essentially a free agent in that sense, then you try to use that leverage as best you can to, work yourself into a better situation, whether that's with Detroit City or somebody else. Um, I mean, this the when, especially when you're dealing with livelihoods too. Um, I think that's something I would do. That's something that he should be doing as well. He should be leveraging, these wins for himself, because there weren't a lot of them this year. Um, there weren't a lot of instances that I think Danny could put in his cap and be like, yeah, I'm gonna use this to when it comes to, negotiating that
Yeah.
next contract with Detroit City, or,
There were a lot of moments
negotiating
where
the
he
next
was like
contract on the open market.
thinking of the sizzle reel and going like, "Yeah, guys, nice work. You crushed it. I am like, yeah." There's a lot of like, "Why am I doing this?"
Yeah.
Uh,
Garrett, what do you think?
Well, we have been told, I think, multiple times that the decision on the head coach is to be made by the new sporting director, correct?
Yes.
It is
But
November 3rd. Do we have a new
well,
sporting director?
no.
look, can't be like early with all this shit, right? You got like the cool kids sign a sporting director in February,
Um,
and that sporting director panic signs, um, somebody local in late February, who the players demonstrate the wisdom of football manager by snubbing entirely. Like, who the fuck are you? No.
so what I mean is, I'm already seeing a couple days after their playoff exit as a home side, El Paso's already announced that they've parted ways with Wilmer Cabrera. Uh,
I, you know, I don't. I'm good.
and I think honestly, it's
Nah, it's
what
not for
I
me,
mean.
dog. Like, yeah.
What I mean, if for Danny's sake on here, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if he's, you know, plotting and building his CV, so to speak, and a win like this boost his case. Um, if not already, you know, to new
Yeah.
change of scenery in 26. And I
Yeah.
think that could be his own choice.
I mean, yeah, it's possible. Um, I think he's put himself in frame for some jobs. I think that he probably has a reasonable argument that um, that cities um, limited by their infrastructure in ways that some other clubs are not. Um, and I think that I think that would be the thing that I think would the argument he could put out there in an interview, that even if it blew back to Detroit City, they would have very little argument with. Like, yeah, okay, well, fair enough. When you compare it to places with like what we're going to have when the stadium is built, with big modern weight rooms and all kind of like science around the the way the infield is structured so that they can track all these movements in microscopic ways. Like uh, it's possible, but at the same time, like the results are clearly it's not like in an open shut case. It's not like this is a guy that everyone is going to be like he's going to be first on every list, not based on the results he's put up um, in Detroit. You know, sorry, man. Um, and I think there has to be questions asked about the kind of the vector here, right? The line does not seem to be pointing up as he's if he's eyeing the door, he's doing so, leaving a team that seems to be seems to have underperformed its talent and done so in ways that made you question whether the players weren't kind of demotivated by the manager, um, and so I don't know, man. It's a tough world, it's a tough market. This is the hardest job to hold on to in the world, being a football manager, and uh, I don't. I doubt that he holds on to this one, but I think I think we'll wind up with a did he jump or was he pushed scenario in the not too distant future, I'm guessing.
Indeed.
Question two, real quick. USL hiring EPL executive, was it Tony Scholes,
Yeah.
to become the president of their new Division One, which I thought was a pretty incredible get for
That's
USL.
so as I understand he's going to run like um you know licensing, broadcast, uh you know, all of the big business stuff. He's going to he has sponsors and advertiser connections from the Premier League. Um which, is great. I think that we are edging closer to that. We're there's conversations with different pools of equity, let's say, between the league and different pools of equity, um, and so that is this guy is somebody that's trusted by those pools of equity. Um, and is has an established career being trusted by them. So it's a big step from a business point of view, um, and it really does. I think, like, I don't know. I mean, I think that MLS might be high on their own supply still. Like, might just be like, but I have a feeling that they're feeling the bite of that Apple Plus deal, which goes
Yes.
on and on. And
Yep.
so like
What
10 years,
that and the
7 years, I don't remember. It was long.
3 game best of three playoff series.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, yes, like they're like, oh, you wanted some kind of throwback thing. Well, okay, yeah, sure, I guess, but that was like that sucked the first time you tried it. Like that's it just like no football. We've kind of got established, a couple of different ways you can handle this. You can do a one-off. You can do a home and home. You know, um, that's the two ways.
Sean,
That's it.
were you covering the MLS when they were doing those crazy shootouts?
No, I wasn't covering it. I watched some of it. It was, I mean,
Choice.
well, it was a, like of the things they did to American up the game. Um, that one was the least offensive to me because it was more interesting than a regular penalty kick. Like, okay, well, if that's going to replace like actual penalty kicks, that's fun. Um, uh, but all the other stuff, well, like the NCAA rules, the crazy sub rules they had, the count, the clock counting the other way, and like, what are you doing?
How does
Like,
that build the game? How
right,
does that develop talent?
what are you doing? There's like an established like now everyone who knows football is like, wait, what the fuck? Oh, okay. Okay, why? Oh, why? There's people just going in and out. Like that dude came in, that dude left and came back in. Like, yeah, he left, but he came back. They can come back in at the second half. Like, what?
Remi- it
Is
reminds
this
me
a rec
of
league? Like, what the fuck are we doing? This
it
is the
reminds me
highest
of
level NCAA. It's crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
for anybody who's played like Nintendo out there, which I'm sure is a lot of people. It reminds me of when remember Super Mario 2 when they released a different version in the United States because the original version that they released like in Japan they thought was going to be too hard for American gamers. So they took that, one game that wasn't a Super Mario game and they completely repackaged it and just put in Super Mario characters so it would be more fun and easier for American game players to play. It seems like that's kind of what MLS is. Oh, we don't think they're actually going to enjoy the way soccer or football is. So we got to add these little gimmicky type things to it
I mean,
to help get
the
their
game
interest.
themselves, the game itself in MLS is at this point like that was like that was they were doing a lot of that stuff kind of at FIFA's behest, you know.
Mhm.
FIFA was like, we want you to try to like we're gonna capture this American market with you and we want you to jazz it up, show us something fun. Go Americans, you know. And you know, so like these are soccer executives who are like, what? I mean, okay. Um
Which
and
is also just to point that while you made that statement, other countries are being told by FIFA that they need to implement promotion relegation. Everyone needs to conform to standards, and here FIFA's telling the US to be the sideshow, basically.
well, I think the official story was that you know for a long time they were granted an exemption. They were like, okay, well it's coming, you know. Um, and then I think it was sometime in the like Bush administration was when Don Garber first started saying like, okay, it's not coming. I don't know who said that was happening. Besides everyone for the last 10 years, like we were never planning to do that, and people who say that we were lying. And so that became the new truth. They were never planning to do it, but they, you know, it was part of the original like prospectus, and you know was important enough to be mooted in the original conversation. Like they had to talk a way around it basically, and they had to very consciously do that and say, look, we just there's no way we can do this right now. We need an exemption. Can we get an exemption? And FIFA was like, of course, we are glad to help our, you know, you sad little motherfuckers start a league. Um, and you know, credit to MLS for aligning itself so closely with like dark capital that they apparently don't need to make money that badly anymore. Um, uh, because you know all of the conventional ways that you make money, it doesn't seem like they're maximizing. Like you know the crowds are falling off, except in you know markets that are winning and getting into postseason. Um, and you know, I don't know. I just, yeah, I don't understand how they feel they can remain a lonely outpost in the world of football and remain relevant, um, you know, in the even the medium term, right? Like 15 years. Like,
Hmm.
you know, like USL is like doing this and they have pretty clearly established that they do not need to ask your permission. And in fact, your efforts to, you know, cockblock this are uh, have been noted and are pretty clear, are often actionable. So, you know, keep it tucked in, boys. Um, and uh, yeah, I think MLS is in trouble. I think they have kind of shit on their brand. You know what I'm saying? Like at this point, like what are they going to do? Start doing like shitloads of community service and like, you know, be everyone's best friend for a decade to recover from the like many markets they've, you know, resoundingly crapped on. Um, I'm I'm dubious.
Yeah. All right. Too much MLS talking, then I'm gonna go to fucking sleep. So,
Yeah, no, I mean it is really I think it's one of those it's a bag fumble that will be studied in business schools, you know, in the 2040s. They'll be like, "Yeah, man, let me tell you about the first US soccer league that succeeded in air quotes."
mhm. Um, we got any other closing thoughts we want to add, gents, ahead of round two of Electric Boogaloo playoffs?
Oh God. Oh,
Or as I have another name for us, but I'll save that in a second.
it can't be the Boogaloo playoffs, man. It's
No,
Yeah.
there's
it's too
another one.
it's too
There's
on the
another one.
nose.
Okay.
I'm tucked. I'm under the table right now. Uh, yeah, yeah. I think we are. We're gonna go through. And I think we all agree we're going to go through just in different degrees of optimism. I'm quite optimistic. Adam's moderately optimistic. Garrett is if it's supposed to be dour and optimistic simultaneously, he's dour and optimistic.
I'm Central European with German in me. It's very in nature for me to do this shit.
But
I'm the one that's I'm that judge.
the general outlook is quite good.
Adam,
What's up?
you're anything from you?
No, I'm good. I'm good. We said
Are
everything
we
we
still
needed to
recording?
say.
Oh shit. I'm sorry.
Just another day. uh, when so the today I mentioned this before we hit the red light when all these last couple of days have happened. Um, More so the aftermath of the win and seeing everybody. I am not going to lie that I have not laughed as hard as much and as kind of consistently upbeat. It's been over at least more than a few months since I've felt this. So in a fucked up way, this is a good thing. um to, feel good about something. uh so thanks y'all. Y'all check this out. Y'all check this out. Y'all had something. If you're a one of who responds or those that may feel the same way and go out to the field, represent on the field Saturday, do it again.
Yeah.
And then repeat, rinse, slather, repeat. Um,
Really, really great performance.
yep.
Congrats.
When Adam called me back, because I called briefly, immediately post whistle for Adam. He called me back a couple of minutes later. I was almost kind of just laughing after the final whistle.
Hmm.
And I was just my first. Remember what I said right away, Adam? Or
Go
no?
ahead and repeat it.
These fucking assholes.
Well,
And then
wow.
I thought about it because Sean, you and I have nerded out over music many a time these past few months. We've talked about different topics of different tempos and bands and genres and all that fun jazz, even when it's jazz fusion. Uh, and I thought about it as these fucking assholes tour. Stop one. And I'm like, what would be the most fitting things for a TFA tour, an acronym? Well, we just did like the first show, Louisville. Second show, okay. Pittsburgh beats Hartford. All right. Rhode Island knocks Charleston out in penalties. So there's a chance that if Rhode Island beats North Carolina and we get past Pittsburgh, we would go to Rhode Island in that shiny new stadium and play old Maxi Rodriguez in the Eastern Conference Final. Stop
That
number 3 of the
stadium's
TFA tour.
that stadium sucks, by the way. Go ahead.
Hmm.
Does it
And
really?
then if you get to the final,
What is it, sir?
It looks like a glorified high school football stadium. Not even a
Wow.
glorified one. Just
Sorry, we're cutting into Garrett's.
sorry, Garrett. Go ahead.
uh, and then stop 4 of the TFA if we get to the Western Conference final. To play in the Western Conference could be Tulsa, who have finally made the playoffs as a 1 seed in their baseball stadium with crap field. Could be Phoenix Rising again.
Oh God.
Could be. So you see what I'm saying? Um, you can't just go. When I mean these fucking assholes, they could do this. Sean, you said this is a vibes team, right? I think a good amount of vibes with at least some of this team is spite.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they should ride this as hard as hard as they can and then deliver whatever message they wish delivered at the end of it.
If it motivates you, keep fucking doing what you're doing.
Right. Exactly. Like
We're not offended, folks. This comes with the territory of what we do.
stay up on that wave as long as you can.
All right. I think this is a good thing. This is a good talk. There's been good times on here. Um, Channel 451 will also be fun. It's the road to Pittsburgh.
Right. Let's go.
In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, hell yeah, brothers, hell yeah, sisters. We go onward. Call. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out this episode of Make City Make Spence. To see not only this one, but prior Make City Make Spence episodes, go to detroit.themajorsports.com where you can check out all of our catalog and all things going on with not only Detroit City FC centric content, but any Majors Detroit content in general. Additionally, you can find us on YouTube at The Majors TV. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if you already haven't yet. And you can also find us on wherever you check social media stuff out. We are on Twitter and Instagram at TMSNX Detroit, Blue Sky at TMSNX Detroit, bsky.social, and The Majors Detroit on Facebook. Additionally, wherever you check out your podcast, be sure to not only like and subscribe, but leave a 5-star review. It goes a long way in helping out all of our efforts here at The Majors Detroit. Thanks again. Catch you next time.